So we'd like to thank everyone for this last session for the Finance for All Financial Literacy Education Series for clergy and lay. We just want to again thank you for your participation over the last four sessions, and a special thanks and shout out to Mr. Clarence Lee for donating his time. He is a member of Central CME in Detroit. He's a member of 3D. I don't say it the way it needs to be said.
D,
3D. So he is a
3D.
faithful member of the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, and we're just glad that he's a financial professional and he has offered his services and time and talent to make sure that we get more of an advanced lessons in financial literacy. If this is your first time joining, in the chat, I will put a link so that way, if you, depending on how you got here, you can access your online hub so you can get all of the videos, he's made all these resources available for free in our online hub. So if you've registered, you have access through that, our Bold Money Matters online hub. If you have not registered, I'll put that link. It's free. You can just sign up, and then once you log in, you'll get access to his all his videos, the resources, the PowerPoint presentation, and then we'll send additional information how to schedule time with him. So without further ado, this is our last session. Mr. Clarence Lee, please take it away.
Thank you, Sharon. I really appreciate your expertise here. I want to personally thank you as well. I'm going to go right into this. You can get my information through the site. There's even some background material on me and what I'm all about, but I'm here to really educate people on money. I get excited about this because I know how badly it's needed. Can you see my screen? Let me check that first. Okay, good. All right. What we're going to talk about is how money works. All right. And the intent of this one, but let me start here first. I want to personally thank Bishop Teresa E. Snorton and the Bold Money Matters team, particularly Sharonda, who's been integral in getting this going, and for their exemplary work on this program. I think it will have such an impact on the church, our communities, and beyond that if we do this right and we actually educate people. The other thing I want to say upfront, a disclaimer. I'm a registered representative with PFS Investments. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a tax professional, and I don't offer credit repair. So those services, you need to go to professionals. This is an educational purposes, but what I am able to do is teach you how the money works, and you'll know the right questions to ask. Okay, that's what I wanted to have as a disclaimer. This is our last session, and this one is called, I'm going to really do an overall recap or strategy and a recap of what we've been going through for the past 3 weeks. So it's a good summary. I'm not going to go into much detail except for ones that I think are very important that I drill down on to make sure I emphasize the points. So this is going to be a brief overview. Well, an overview. I hope it's brief. We believe financial education should be free. You shouldn't be penalized for not knowing about money. And it's not taught in school. That's plain and simple. That's why I'm trying to educate youth early. But one of the things we know is when you ask yourself, how can you save for the future when you have so much debt? These are questions that people ask, right? How much money is enough to retire? And what if I got started late? Legitimate questions. If I die prematurely, what becomes of my family? And another one might be, can I ever truly be financially secure? The answer is yes, you can, but we got to plan it out. This is the thing that people should understand. You don't need a six-figure income to be financially independent. You don't need a high-level job or a big salary. And I'm going to give you another one. And you don't have to have a large retirement or a large inheritance or win the lottery. You can do this yourself, but we got to show you how to do it. You can get out of debt, you can build a savings, and you can get to the path of financial independence. So the first thing you got to do is take control. These are the things you got to do. First, pay yourself first. This should be a rule in your house. Pay yourself first. Know your financial independence number. That's one of the key things we try to help people when we first start. What is the number you need to be financially secure where you don't have to work anymore? Adjust your priorities. Change your thinking. This is a thought process. People get ingrained in things that they are used to doing, and you really got to change that. Okay. There might be a better way of doing it. Be open to that. Adjust your lifestyle, earn additional income, always look at making more money somewhere if it helps you. You don't want to do that. Just be good with what you got. Realign your assets and avoid the credit trap. I'm going to go into that a little detail. And get goals and have a plan. These are the things that you should not worry about. Do not worry about the future of Social Security. You can't control it anyway. Let it go. The other one, your employer. Don't worry about taxes. You can't do anything about it anyway. Inflation, rising costs, or the risk of a single investment if you're invested in one thing. Okay. What you can control, though, are the things that you should be looking at: saving for retirement, other sources of income that can help you reach your number and put more money away, ways to reduce your taxes. I'm going to talk about that in this presentation. Maximize your savings, save more. And the other one is diversify your investment choices. I want you to understand you can be comfortable being a good investor if you know how to invest and what to look for. That's one of the things that we specialize in. So retirement is an amount of money. It's not an age. See, people say they want to retire. It's an amount of money. If you get that money earlier, you can retire earlier. But it is an amount of money that can help you be successful. This is a thing on goal setting. And this is important because you really got to kind of back up and kind of look at what you're really trying to achieve. One, list your goals. Describe them in detail, whether they're big or small, current and future. Another one, and this is the biggest one, write down why you're motivated to achieve it. You got to have a why. Otherwise, it won't mean anything to you. You just got a number out there. This is probably the most important out of all these. Prioritize your list, which is easier, more attainable. Create a timeline. This will help you stay on track. And do the math. How much money you need to save. That's one of the key things that I said we try to help you with right away. This is the other one. Pay yourself first. Now I'm going to show you something. What's interesting is people say they don't make money, but let me show you something. If you had an average income of $40,000 a year and you work for 20 years, you've made over $800,000. Okay? This is a formula we show people. And the amount of savings, let's say you had 40,000, hypothetically, that would mean you would have 20% of your income saved, right? But you got to learn. The thing is, we're trying to get you to understand that you are valuable and you should be doing this. So let me show you what I mean. Treat yourself like a bill. You pay your bills, pay yourself. That's what we're getting at. Treat yourself like a bill and prioritize personal money plan and your personal money plans. There are 3 accounts that are very important to you in starting out. The first one is an emergency account. That's an account where when something happens to your car, your refrigerator, or whatever, that 1 to 2 years that you have put away, that you don't have to touch anything, but you can go to this account and pay for it. That's one. The second one is The second one is a short-term account. Now, these are accounts where you got a maybe 3 to 5 year period. This is for your vacations, those splurge things you want to do. And then the last one is a wealth building account. Now, the way I differentiate these first two can either be in something secure like a bank or CD or a credit union, something like this. But your wealth building account, you need to be investing. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. The wealth building is probably the most important. Once you get these two in place, then you can talk about wealth building, okay? But you can do them all at once, which I recommend because sometimes you don't have enough time to wait, okay? You just get started, all right? We'll show you how to do that. The first thing I want to talk about as a big issue for most people is paying off debt. I want to show you how harmful this is. Now, I discussed this extensively in module 2 of this session, but all I want to point out here is that if you think that you get a credit card and you got a $3,000 credit on there at 18% and you only pay the minimums, look at what happens to it. If you pay just the minimums, it's going to take you $3,000, you're going to pay $2,000 in interest, and you're actually going to pay $5,000 for that $3,000 item. See, the thing is, you got to get compound interest working for you and not pay it to other people, okay? So what that translates into is with a there are two types of debt, revolving and fixed. Revolving is one where they actually compound the interest on top of each other. But let me show the difference. Those two words are significant if you're looking at a loan. Revolving hurts you. With a revolving debt, you got a $17,000 debt at 18%, you're paying $595 a month. It's going to take you 17 years and 2 months to pay it off. And you'll pay $12,500 in interest. If you had a fixed debt, difference in terminology, right? You would pay it off in 3 years, 2 months, and you would pay $5,370 in interest. Okay? That's what I mean. You look at the terms, make sure you understand it. This is another thing that we discussed extensively in Module 2. It's called debt stacking. And basically, summarizing it, all it means is if you take one of your debts that's the highest, that's hurting you the most, you pay it off as fast as you can. That money that you save on that debt, you don't go out and spend it. You take that money, add it to your next debt, and pay that off. It all goes in succession. But let me give you the motivator for why to do that. If you do that in this example, instead of paying it off in 24 years, you pay it off in 9 years. Same money, you just decided to pay it off in a debt stacking solution. You pay it off 15 years earlier. Now, you know that $2,720 you were paying on bills? Guess what? You can invest that now. That's how you do this, okay? We'll show you how to do that as well. So, one of the things that, and I'm guilty of this, I have to admit my own flaws. I didn't value my credit. I didn't even think about it. Okay. I had bad credit. I didn't know about it. I had things I wasn't worried about it. But when you get ready to make a major purchase, it affects you. So when you're ready to buy a house, you got to have good credit. My wife had good credit. I had bad credit. Okay. So guess what? She fixed me. And I went through the same process that I'm teaching you right now. The same didn't know she was that good that she could do my presentation. But look at this. Don't value your credit. You don't max out your cards, not monitoring your credit. I actually get a credit score every month right now, even to this day. I got a high credit score now, but I'm just saying it's something you get used to. Not knowing what your interest rates and fees are, and not being aware of your total debt. These are all things that hurt you, okay? So what we recommend is this: know your score. Don't miss payments. Catch up overdue accounts. I did all these steps. This is how I got where I was. And keep a low balance on your credit cards. I keep no balance on most of my credit cards, no balances. Pay it off right away. And don't apply credit often. That actually dings your credit, so it makes it look bad. This is how you can turn that around, okay? Another one. This is a rule that I don't know if you know, I'm an architect. So I actually did this with a financial calculator. So when I learned this rule, it was very interesting to me that they could do something that I had to do a calculator with. But basically what it says is that if you take the interest rate you earn on your money, divide it into 72, it tells you how many years it takes to double your money. So if you had a $10,000 investment and you got a 3% return, that means it would double every 24 years. 3 goes into 24 or goes into 72 24 times. So that 10,000 in 24 years would be 20, another 24 years, 40. Look at what happens when you double the interest rate. It's interesting. It actually compounds even more. This is what I mean by compound interest, right? In your favor. That $10,000 would now double because it's 6%. 6 goes into 72 12 times. So it would double every 12 years. That 10,000 in 12 years would be 20, another 12, 40, 80, 160. Now, this one blows my mind even today, even though I keep presenting it. At 12%, 12 goes into 72, it doubles every 6 years. That $10,000 grows from 10,000 in 6 years, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320, 640, and 1.2 and $2.5 million. Are you catching where I'm headed with this? If you can teach your next generation, they won't have money problems. We just got to teach them how to do this. That's what we do. We help people do that. Okay. And this is the only reason I'm showing this is that by starting early, it makes a significant impact. If you gave a baby $1,000 investment at 9%, a baby at age 67, they'd have $400,000 in that investment. $400,000 cash. that they could use when they retire or do whatever they want to do. Okay. But if they start later at 16, it would be 96,000. But at 40, obviously, it takes a longer time for that to happen. Okay. Here's another one, the power of compound interest. Just like we described it, if you got in this case, if you had an investment using the rule of 72 and you started with $1,000 from birth and you invested it, simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest, you're going to have $7,000. That's what you get at a bank, by the way. And this is an investment account, 406,000. These are different concepts. By the way, everything that I'm describing to you is in the book, How Money Works. So I'm really going through those chapters with you right now. Okay. And the difference of a little bit more, you go from $20 to $100. Look at how that impacts your money. Okay. And it's because of the interest rate and the fact that it can compound. The other thing I'm going to just go on because we've gone through the high cost of waiting. The importance of a return. This is one of the key things. You see 3%, 6%, and 9%. $1,000 investment at these interest rates, you see what the difference is. If you stayed in a bank, and banks don't pay 3% right now, I don't think they do, you would have only $7,000. But if you invest at 9% in an investment, I'm going to talk about mutual funds, it would be 406,000. You see the difference and how this can be impactful to you, your generation, and the future generations behind us. I keep talking about that. And a little bit more. Look at this. If you had a 4.5% interest rate and a 9% interest rate, you don't think that makes much difference. Look at this. You go from 175,000 up to 746,000 just because you got a little bit more return on the money. Okay. The only thing I want to say here is that first one. You don't have to find large amounts to put aside initially. The important thing is to start saving early. Okay. We did this exclusively in module 1, but I'm going over this, and there's a reason for this. Out of all my experience, I've been here a long time, over 20 years. The one thing that I've found that has hurt our community the most has been this issue right here, life insurance. Don't believe me, I'm going to show you what I mean, okay? In the life insurance industry, it has hurt communities so bad that I'm embarrassed when I go and talk to them and they've been hurt so bad, okay? I have clients that have gotten messed up by this. So I'm going to spend some time on this because I need to emphasize why it's so important that you pay attention and educate yourself. See, when you look at things, what is the greatest asset in your family? Is it your car? Is it your house? Is it your life? Well, actually, let me put it another way. The most important asset is your life, but the thing is actually your money. The income you bring to that household, that's the most important asset and the most valuable asset. You can get a car, you can get a house, but once you're gone and that money's gone, that can't come back. That's why you need insurance. That's why I talk about life as an income. And the thing that is immediately important for you to understand, if you do this right, this creates an immediate, I'm going to say it again, immediate, instant estate, a tangible asset, just like that. That's how this happens. And what I do when I talk to people about this is something that's valuable. You need to have it in place early and you keep it for as long as you need to, because when you get older, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, you actually need money. You don't need insurance. So let me show you the other things. What's the purpose? Income protection. People talk about death policies, things like that. Actually, what you need when the early part of your life, in particular, you need to protect your income, your money. That's the reason you have insurance. Otherwise, why would you have it? I mean, they bury you, still, family's still there, and they're still hurting because they don't have your money. Okay. And why should you buy it? You should buy what's inexpensive for a period of time. That's how it should be bought. And who should buy it? People with other people that depend on them. That's when you should buy it. So what I talk about, what we talk about, is the theory of decreasing responsibility. And it's real simple, but nobody else talks about it in the whole industry because they don't do it the way we do it. And what I'm talking about is when you're young, when you have children, high debt, mortgage, the one thing that can derail anything you're trying to do is if one of you pass away, husband or wife. And what we talk about is income replacement. Because if you got that person's income there, you can continue your life. Okay. Now, as you get older, things change. Your children are grown. Your mortgage is paid off. You're looking to retire. What will help you retire? It's not insurance, it's money. We teach you how to get to the money. So, do you understand how we actually help people go through the whole process of life? But it's a systematic way that you can do it. If you do it the right way, you're okay. But let me show you some of the things out. I got another video. Okay.
Do you understand how your life insurance needs change over the years? It's called the theory of decreasing responsibility, and here's how it works. When your children are young, you probably have a lot of financial responsibilities, such as a house mortgage and other debts. During this time, the death of a breadwinner or caretaker would be financially devastating to your family. This is when you need coverage the most. In the later years, you have fewer financial obligations. The children are grown, the mortgage is paid or reduced, and you've had years to accumulate savings. Your need for insurance is reduced because you are now, in effect, self-insured. This is the theory of decreasing responsibility. It means having life insurance to protect your family during the most financially vulnerable years.
So, this is what I want you to understand. Usually they say 10 times income is normally what you need. That's what I mean by income replacement. 10 times your income. If you invest that at 10%, you actually generate 40,000. If you had a $400,000 policy, you invested at 10%, you would get 40,000. That would pay for that's your income that you brought to the house. The family can move on and they can be okay. The other one is it pays for your insurance separately from your investment. Always do that. And we talk about just separating it. And remember, do not combine savings with your insurance. So there are two types out there: cash value and term. Term is for a specific period. Cash value, that's the one where you got all these investment bells and whistles and things like that. This was done actually in module 1 pretty well, but I want to just hit some really key highlights. Traditional plans, you can receive cash value or your life insurance, but you don't get both. I'm going to show you in my next example. Here with term, you control your investments so they can be separate from the insurance, which means the family can actually get both of them. So this can be hard to determine when you bundle products. When you put everything together in one place, I always do this as I illustrated, because when you bundle things together, you don't really know what's going on. When you separate them, you can analyze them both separately. That's what we recommend. Anytime you're not sure what you're paying, you risk making bad decisions. And never buying life insurance as an investment, ever. Even though all over the internet they're talking about it. It's a total, I'm going to say it right here, it's a ripoff. I'm going to tell you why later, okay? But let me show you another thing. Give you an idea of what I mean. Sometimes when you buy a program like a whole life policy, you got a $100,000 policy, right? And the key thing they say is you can get it when you reach age 100. And I said to myself, why would I want to wait that late? Don't you want to start getting it at 70? Wouldn't that at least be something? Like 30 years sooner? And what I show here is a life insurance policy, and I also show a buy term and invest the difference. The thing you should know is the insurance amount on term is always much higher. It's closer to what we call income protection. The other ones are low and they're never enough. So let me show you how this looks. When you get it at age 70, if you have a separate investment at age 70, the difference is tremendous. See, at age 70 here, it's at 48,000, and at 70 with a buy term and invested difference, it's 180,000, 83,000. So just by doing this plan here, the wealth robber, you lost about $135,000. Now, my question is, how many times in your lifetime can you afford to be robbed of your wealth? Hashtag intergenerational wealth. This is money you can pass down if we do it right. So here's the other one. If you own any of these products that I list, they include cash value, whole life, permanent life, universal life, variable life, index universal life, infinite banking. By the way, the term infinite banking isn't a product. It's an idea. What they do is use an insurance policy behind it. These are things that do not work in your favor. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. It is expensive. It is an expensive form of life insurance. Typically provides less coverage for the family It doesn't do income protection. $50,000, $100,000 policies don't do it. Okay. You can borrow your own money. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. How do you feel about borrowing your own money and paying the insurance company the interest on that money? Think about that. Let that stew a little bit. It's typically has a low rate of return, and you lose the cash value if you die with a traditional policy. Meaning that cash value that we talk about, it doesn't go to the family. I'm going to show you what I mean exactly. Here's an example of the two side by side. And I'm doing this, as I said, because I see so many people getting burned. I have clients that have come to me later that got dissuaded from this because they didn't hear it consistently. So that's why I go through it. It's called cash value. Plan A has this program. For $295, you get a policy that has $150,000 on John and $150,000 on Mary. And it has a cash value of 124,000 at age 65. Okay, sounds great, right? So if something happens to John and Mary, the beneficiaries would actually get 150,000 and another 150,000. That's 300,000. And would you believe that the cash value, this 124,000, actually stays with the company? And all you got to ask when someone tells you that, oh, I don't believe that, just say, how much does my family get when I'm gone? That's the way you ask it. Then you can figure it out. Now, let me show you, for $195 a month, you could actually get something that actually works for your family. Instead of 150, you get 400,000. 400,000 invested at 10% would generate 40,000 a year. Isn't that close to what we were talking about all the time? But the thing about it is, this doesn't cost but $126 a month. And you got a difference between 195. Am I cutting out? Okay. You got $295, right? That's what you're paying. And you're paying 126 for this. You would have a difference of $126 a month. You invested at 9%, you would have $500,000 at age 65. Now, I'm not going to ask you which one you like yet, but this is the thing you should know. One, the insurance is separate and the investment are separate. They don't know each other. If God forbid something happens to you in the other policy, even though you paid for it, the insurance company keeps this money. I hope you don't feel good about that. I hope you don't. But let me show you about the other side. Because they're two separate things, and we show you how to do both at the same time, your family would get both. And this is the best part. This is what I love most. At age 65, you know this $500,000? That would be your retirement money. And if it's in a Roth IRA, it's totally tax-free. Now I have to ask you, same money, $295, which one would you choose? Okay, plan A or plan B. Now let me make this even more. I want to bring this home a little bit because I want you to understand how impactful this really is on a family's wealth. When you look at both plan A and plan B, if we can show you how to do plan B every single time, don't you think other companies know how to do this? I got my wealth robber guy there. Then unless you ask, why do they always show you plan A? They're robbing you of your wealth. Now I'm going to show you what the impact is. Look at this. Same money now, but they robbed you of your wealth. That you lost, potential loss of $500,000 to almost 1.2 million. And that's only $295 a month. That's what it cost you for plan A, because you got that instead of plan B. Okay. Now I got to ask, how many times in your lifetime can you afford to be robbed of your wealth? Hashtag intergenerational wealth. So let's go to the next topic. I want to talk about this because this is all over the internet. Billions of dollars of this is being sold right now. It's called Index Universal Life. It's all over TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you look, they're selling it. Now, I know for a fact, I'm just saying this, somebody's going to get hurt by these. And I'm going to show you why. When you look at them, they look very similar to what I just went through, right? And the other one on the left is an Index Universal Life. The one on the right is buy term and invest the difference. Here you jumble it together in Index Universal Life, so you don't know what's going on. That shouldn't make you comfortable. And this one we separate them. Insurance, investments. You know exactly where your money's going. But this is what I want you to understand. When the salesperson, and this is how it's sold, the salesperson claims that you can save a lot of money in your life insurance policy while protecting your family. That's a benefit, right? Well, let me ask you something. Remember, never invest in an insurance policy. And I always say you don't invest in your homeowners or your auto insurance. You don't invest in those, do you? You realize you cannot die and live at the same time. I'm not going to get biblical on that, but you cannot die and live at the same time. They're two separate events, so they have to be handled differently. So the other one they talk about, you get to enjoy the tax benefits of saving your money in your life insurance. Well, what I offer is something called, why not invest in a tax-free Roth IRA? The government lets you do that, and all the proceeds are tax-free. That's legal. I do those all the time. I recommend everyone to have one. Here's another one. You can borrow your money, or you can borrow your money instead of the bank. You become what they call your own bank, infinite banking. Now, this is one my grandmother taught me. Would you ever borrow your own money and pay that interest to the insurance company? Think about that. Let that sit for a while. That doesn't make sense, does it? I'm going to give you another one. How long does it take to get enough money to borrow? You got high commissions and fees. Usually it takes years before you even get enough money to borrow. You're borrowing your own money and you're paying the insurance company interest. My grandmother would tell me I was crazy. She'd say, boy, give me that money. I'll hold it for you and give you interest. Okay, just so you know. All right, but that's what they're marketing, and it seems like it's so good. The word salad, I guess they call it that now, is incredible. Here's another one. You can use the growth of your cash value to fund the cost of your insurance. Why not just get the proper amount of protection up front at a low price from the beginning? That's always simple questions, right? I call these wealth robbers. Here's another thing that goes on out there. They talk about things like vanishing premium, paid up life insurance, 7702 retirement plan. By the way, there is no such thing as a retirement plan in 7702. 7702 refers to a portion of the tax code, all right, that talks about insurance, but it's not a retirement plan. I had to get that correct. The other one, be your own bank, infinite banking. And the key thing to why this is being sold so highly right now, and people are getting burned, is it's high commissions, catch that they're making money off of you. Okay, just so you know that. All right, wealth robbers. Let's go to our next one. Now, I don't want you to believe me, but I want you to see the publications that have come out talking about this particular subject starting since 1877. Meaning, for almost 150 years, experts have written about how this industry has robbed us. I coined the phrase hashtag intergenerational wealth, but it could have been done back then. They didn't know about hashtags back then. I'm just learning myself. But this is what I'm talking about. This has been talked about by the financial experts for years, almost 150 years, but it's still going on. And actually, it's getting worse. They're expanding. So my thing is avoid them by educating yourself. That's the key to all this. Learn and understand what's really going on. That's what we help you. So the three nevers: never buy life insurance, cash value or whole life insurance, never buy insurance as an investment, and never buy life insurance policy that pays dividends. Okay. And what I want to say about this is, now you heard of Susie Orman, right? This is what she says. In my opinion, there is only one kind of life insurance that makes sense for a vast majority of the US: term life insurance. She said that. Let's talk about taxes. This is done exclusively in Module 3. But all I'm going to highlight here is that you do want to make sure that the Uncle Sam, you get as many tax breaks as you can from Uncle Sam. And there are ways to do it that really benefit you a lot. And that's all this is talking about. It's talking about things like, and I'm going to show you this, tax deduction and tax deferrals. When we meet together, we can actually talk about those things in detail. So I won't spend a lot of time here, but I only want you to see that there are basically three types that you can do. A traditional IRA that's deductible. All that means is you take the money that you put in your IRA off the top before the government even sees your check. The next one is you don't qualify for a traditional IRA, but you can have one, but you can't deduct it up front. And the last one, which I put a lot of young people, I put everybody that's eligible for it in what's called a Roth IRA. You can't deduct it. But the beautiful thing about it, and I think it'll show it here, I'm gonna go here, is that the beautiful thing about a Roth IRA is that all the money you put in is all it gains interest, capital gains, and appreciation. And when you get ready to retire, it's all tax-free, all of it tax-free. And there's no required minimum distributions at the end. That's something as you get older, you won't worry about that until then. So this just categorizes those. We won't go into detail, but this is one of my most favorite slides to me, because what it teaches is if you start early, if you just start early, it makes such a difference in your life. And that's why I want you to pass this down to people you know and younger people. Is if you this, I'm going to show you this example. This is a person that started investing at age 22 and they stopped investing at age 29. They only invested 8 years. They didn't put any more money in. The person on the right started at age 30, 1 year later, and invested until 67. They invested 38 years. But look at this. The one on the left that started at 22 has 2.3 million. The one on the right has 2.2 million. It actually paid to invest early. But this is the best part of this. No matter which way you get there, if it's in a Roth IRA, all this money you pay no taxes on when you retire. It just depends on how you put it away. Okay? So become an owner, not a loaner. And what this is discussed in module 3 as well. What we're trying to teach you is that when you put money in a bank, and it's a video in the other section that you might look at, but when you put money in a bank doesn't just put it in the vault. They actually do things with it. They'll give you a credit card, and I've seen them as high in some department stores as 28, 29%, and they're going to pay you 1 to 2%. You see why banking is so good? So I always kind of twist it on that. I say, why not invest in a bank, not with a bank? And you do this with your wealth building account. You don't do this with your emergency fund or your mid-range fund. This is your wealth building account. So I'm trying to get people comfortable with investing. And the way you would do it, and the reason it's so important is because if you don't get a higher rate of return, you're guaranteed loss because of inflation. So this goes through an example, and these deck slides are all going to be here. But remember, it's what the money can buy, which is important. So if you had a 5% inflation rate and your money value in this case, even though you made $150 in that bank account, by the time you get done with the taxes, 22%, you're minus 33%. So your actual earnings from 150 is $117. Your account raises from 10,017, but when you factor in inflation, it's actually valued at 9,635. So you see how you're losing money? So even though you have it secure, it might be better to try to get some higher return. So this is our future. This is where we are right now. There are no pensions. Okay? There are no pensions. We're questioning Social Security. And the thing is, we got to do personal savings. That's why we need to help that next generation to come through and actually learn this. With this type of uncertainty, it's time to take control and rely on other sources to fund your retirement, because these are not the traditional ways we're going to retire in the future. Okay? I'm going to continue on. And the key rate, obviously, that rate of return is, the reason this is in here, because I want you to see something. If you had put it just in U.S. Treasury bills, a $10,000 investment, and this goes from 92 to 2022, 30 years, and you got this one-time investment of 10,000. Let me show you something. It would double in 30 years to 20,000. So that means that's about a 3% return, right? 2.5, something like that. In this one, you would actually have 158,000. That's investing in the stock market. Just taking an average rate of return there. So this is why we try to help people be comfortable investing and feel good about investing, but don't invest everything. We show you how to diversify. And this is the other thing that I hope it helps you. What I enjoy most about my business and the fact that I deal with mutual funds is because they all have professional money managers. Their job is to make sure you make money. So they take my money, your money, millions of other people's money, and they're able to buy stocks in all these companies. There's almost 150 stocks in each one of these mutual funds. And what a mutual fund is a collection of people's money that goes into buying individual stocks. So they'll go out, you give the individual, we give the money manager the money. They go out and buy stock in companies like Procter and Gamble, Microsoft, Pfizer, McDonald's. I think Pfizer did a vaccine, right? Amazon, I use Amazon all the time, right? Netflix and Verizon Communications. These are all the companies and just a sampling of all the companies they put money in. And by doing that, the only way you can ever always lose your money is if the whole thing shut down at one time. And so that's why they diversify, because it gives you more leverage. Okay. Is it guaranteed? No, it's not. But funds can do better if you got them in the right markets. And by the way, every time you use Microsoft or use Verizon, Netflix, or Amazon, guess what? You're contributing to your own investments. These are things that we can help you understand. Now, I know if you've not invested, this is not comfortable. I'm not trying to make you do anything you don't want to do, but I'm trying to help you get better and more comfortable at it so that you can start doing it if you have an interest. The other thing, there are 4 Ds: discipline, diversification, dollar cost averaging, meaning continue to put money away no matter what. Diversification, which puts it in all these different categories of money, okay? And you can track it easily. The other thing is dollar cost averaging. What that basically means is no matter what happens to the market, if it's up, down, in the middle, you're always putting the same amount away. If you do that, you actually are better than the experts. That's why companies love working with us, because they're able to actually buy stock when it's on sale, because we continue to invest. And when it goes up, everybody benefits. That's why they like working with us. So I won't go through this, but I did this extensively, as I said, in module 3, I believe. So I won't go into this, but I will continue with this one. You can do it. All right. You can do it. And this is how you get started. I want you to see a quick video.
Most of us think about money every day. It's not because we're greedy and obsessed with it. It just touches every area of our lives. Our marriage, our kids, our home, fun and vacations, career, sometimes even how we feel about ourselves. When we get this area of our lives right, we are freed up to focus more on the things that matter most, like our family. When we are uncertain about our finances or not clear about our financial future, it creates worry and doubt, making life harder. Do you wonder things like, am I saving and investing enough? What are the best investment choices for retirement versus college? Do I have enough life insurance? Should I have it on my own or get it through my job? How important is a will? What's the best way to pay off my debt? And most importantly, which step do I take first, second, third? What's my plan? Most people spend more time planning a birthday party or wedding than they ever do their financial future. The number one enemy we face is confusion. For some people, this is a lack of knowing the basics or financial literacy. For others, it means being overwhelmed with too much information and too little time to apply it. In either case, it's possible to crush this confusion and go from unclear to clear in your financial journey. By making smart choices, you can make your money work for you so that one day you don't have to. Much like building a house, there are steps you can take that lead to a strong and exciting financial future. No matter your stage of life, right now is a good time to start. Discover how and remove any mystery about money by watching 7 Steps to Create a Clear Financial Vision. In this short video, you will learn how to build a strong foundation and step by step how to build a financial house you can be proud of. Long-term financial independence is not just a crazy fantasy that other people get to live. It's possible for you. Your dollar is just as valuable as the next person's. You can choose if that dollar disappears or if it goes to work for you. When you make smart choices with money and have a clear financial vision, you'll be trading stress and anxiety for peace and security. And you'll be providing a rock-solid and beautiful financial future for the people who are most important to you. What you're about to learn in the video 7 Steps to Create a Clear Financial Vision can literally change your life.
So there is a war. Winning the financial war is a result of winning tiny battles day by day. We can help you out. I got one last one that I want you to see. I close with this.
Whether it's right or wrong, society likes putting people into categories. Baby boomers, Gen X, millennials. Now, the truth is, we're far more alike than we are different. Regardless of age, we all understand the importance that money has in our day-to-day lives. You work hard for your money. Don't you think it's important that your money is working hard for you too? To do that, something has to change. Because odds are, you were never taught anything about money in school. To take control of your finances, you have to understand money. You have to understand something we call the concepts of how money works. And then you have to put that knowledge to work to secure your financial future. It's no secret that most of us worry far more about running out of money in retirement than about how long we'll actually live. That's pretty telling. But the truth is, the vast majority of families are living paycheck to paycheck, and no one is immune to financial challenges. That said, there are people that have a good handle on their finances. They don't struggle to pay the bills, purchase a car, or even buy a house. So what's the difference maker? Understanding the concepts of how money works. But no one should be penalized because they weren't taught about money in school. Everyone deserves to learn how to make their money work for them. That's why we provide people from all walks of life a financial education at no cost. With our proven concepts, you can learn how to improve your financial situation and get on the path toward financial security. And this is how it works. Strategically pay down and get out of debt. Start a savings and retirement plan. Use time and consistency to stay on track towards your financial goals. And protect your family's income with term life insurance. You may not believe it right now, but you have the power to become financially independent and change your life forever. You really do. But only you can make it happen. And guess what? You might think you need to earn a six-figure income, or receive a large inheritance, or even win the lottery to do it. But you don't need any of that. You can get out of debt, build your savings and investments, and get on the path to financial independence. Are you ready to get started? Then take the first step and download a copy of the How Money Works book right now.
So I'm going to just close. Do you think most people are financially well off? Do you agree that if you know better, you can do better? Now, these icons, when you download this this PowerPoint, you'll be able to go here and actually go to the How Money Works website. And also there'll be a link in a PDF that you can go to. But that site, you can download the book, look at all the videos, everything's in there, okay? The other thing, this is what we do as a service. We offer this. It's a clear financial vision. We call it a financial GPS, or financial needs analysis. We show you ways to pay off credit cards and student loans, review your existing retirement savings. This is a big deal because when many people leave a job, many times they leave the money behind, and they should really take it with them and put it in their own account and get it out of the company's account. The other one is best ways to save for college. And by the way, we show you how to do that without paying taxes, okay? Without paying taxes. That's a key point. The best ways to save for college, income protection, life insurance. And the last one is will, power of attorney, medical directives, and also trust that we're able to do. This is all free. I smile there, okay? Now, we do financial planning. And what we mean by that, what we do is that financial needs analysis in 30 minutes. Generally, we'll show you a plan how to get debt solutions, retirement protection, income protection, and educational funding. We show you all those things in that brief financial needs analysis. So we have to do financial planning. Otherwise, we're just selling stuff. And it makes no sense if it's a doctor who doesn't know what your symptoms are and prescribes a medication. You can't do that. You got to figure out what's going on so you can actually help that person. I hope you agree with that. That's just the way we do things. The other thing I want you to know is this is intergenerational wealth planning, because what you do will impact the next generation and the generation behind. That's why we're behind as a group, okay? The other one is hashtag your family's financial legacy planning. All this is a part of what we're talking about. okay? And I hope you feel that. It's not just you, it's you and everyone else around you that we can help. This is my information. When you book an appointment, this is all linked to you. You can go right into my calendar link and meet with me. I'm available. And I want you to put in, when you set up an appointment, I like you to put in the note, hashtag mention CME, or just mention CME, and put your phone number there, okay? Along with the name and everything in email. This links to my website, which is part of those PDFs. I don't really want to click on these, but they're all live. You can go right in there. You don't have to scan the PDF, but you can. And this is to a site that I'm hoping will evolve into something called How Money Works for Kids. You can go there and download a booklet on how we teach kids about money. Actually, it's designed to help parents teach their kids about money. Parents, grandparents, guardians, that's how I put it. And it really is a great asset. And I think you can just download it there, and it's all in those things. So what we do, we truly are a financial services company for everyone, from those just starting out on their investment journey to those already in retirement. Let's work together and help you achieve your goals. Here's another one. This is where you can go and actually get the information about how you can get your will, power of attorney, medical directives. It's actually a program that is providing legal protection and identity theft. And in that, as a part of the subscription, you get a free will and power of attorney and medical directives all through that service. I like to also show that we do these for companies, and we can actually do one for a church, company, anybody. And it's talking about financial literacy. We call it a financial wellness workshop. We do this for free. We bring people to those things. If you highlight this, you can go on that site too. It's also in that PDF at the end. And the last one, we know it's open enrollment for Medicare and Medicaid. This is a site designed, it's called Easy Medicare. And it's a company that will actually discuss with you, and someone else probably want to talk to with them, and actually prescribe supplemental plans that you need once you go into Medicare and Medicaid. They actually help you pick them out based on your location, what your goals are. And many times I just say, call, check it out, and actually see if they can save you money. And they might give you a better plan. Okay, I don't know, but that's one thing that you can do. You can use my information right here, Lee, my rep ID RY911, and you go right into it, okay? So these are the sites I was mentioning. The first one is the How Money Works book. The next one is our Lee Agency website. You can go in there, kind of see what we're all about, our company, all that stuff. And then you've got the financial literacy, children financial literacy website that I use to kind of help people introduce them to teaching their children about money. Then the legal protection, identity theft, and the last one is financial wellness. The last one on this is the Medicare site. You can go right into this. All these are live. Once you get the PDF, you can go right into them and go from there, or you can take a screenshot and type them in. So this is what I want to end with. If you find that this free information that I've shared with you important and something that people need to know, please refer me to others. Also, anyone looking to make extra income, starting part-time, off hours, please contact me. We offer a free coaching mentorship program that can start helping you make money. Hashtag, please share. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Lee. We appreciate this time. We went over, we're almost about 9 o'clock, but we do have time for some questions. Are there any questions that you have? Either you want to put it in the chat or you just want to come off mute. Mute yourself. We do recognize Bishop Teresa Snorton has joined us in just a few minutes. I'm sure she'll want to give some closing remarks. This is our last session. So are there any questions, comments, concerns? Again, if you look in the chat, if you got here through the link and you did not register previously, you can go ahead and register. That'll give you access to all the on-demand replays. So you can go back and look at the previous 3 sessions. You can see all the resources. You can get a copy of the PowerPoint. If you forget the scheduling link, that will be in there so you can schedule a time. Or if you've already registered, you can see in the chat, you just go to boldmoneymatters.org and log in. and you'll see this class in your online portal. So we want everyone to have access. Are there any questions? I see Dr. Mullins.
Hello, everyone. I don't have a question, but I would be remiss if I didn't just say kudos and great job to my steward board chair of the Central Church, Brother Clarence Lee. We're proud of you and we're thankful for you. And I just wanted to share that, and I wanted you to hear your pastor say that. So thank you so much.
Pastor.
All right.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Reverend Mullins. Reverend Brown, I see your hand.
Yes, thank you, Brother Lee, for a dynamic weeks of education, thoughtfulness, planning, and I'm working hard to get everything together.
All right. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it,
Reverend
man.
Brown. I'm looking forward to meeting with you again.
Me too.
All right. Any other hands raised? Any comments, questions? If not, while you're thinking, we'll ask Bishop Norton to unmute and just give us some final thoughts.
Good evening. First, I want to thank Mr. Lee and echo his pastor's commendations for sharing your expertise with us. We are eternally grateful, and I hope that some of our participants and maybe even others will take you up on your offer to help them at least review their finances and think about how they want to improve their financial security. I'm always of a mind that when we are financially secure, we free up all of more of our energy to be invested in our families, in our work, and most definitely being good stewards in the church. So that is why the Bold Money Matters team is investing in these kinds of classes. The CME Church is often accused of always being about the money, but this isn't about collecting money. This is about helping you use what God has given you wisely and certainly as a gift that keeps on giving. Many of our children and future generations simply are not able to even buy a home because of the economy. And most of my generation, I would say, we don't have the resources like other cultures because we have not known these concepts and principles of financial stability. To the rest of you, thank you for taking out time to come. I see several repeat participants. Some of you have been here every week, and I am so delighted. And let me be the first to announce to you that starting on Tuesday, April 8th, looking for, yeah, I believe that's the right day.
April 1st, yeah.
Is it April 1st?
Yes.
Okay, starting Tuesday, April 1st, we're going to do another 4-week series. And this is open to everybody, but it's geared towards church leaders, pastors, stewards, trustees, but again, open for anybody. Sharonda, I couldn't find my draft of the flyer. So the first session is going to be on church administration. The second session is
sponsorship, grants and sponsorship.
I thought that was grants and sponsorships. The third one is online giving, how to use online giving more efficiently. And the last is will and bequeaths, how we can encourage our members who say they love the church to leave a gift for the church. And I think that would certainly apply to each one of us. If we truly love our church, we do recognize at some point we are going to die. And we should include in our own stewardship plan what kind of gift we leave for the church. And so we'll be talking about how to create it's called legacy giving, or how to create a legacy gift program for your local congregation. That's the month of April for 4 consecutive Tuesdays starting on April 1st. There will be very, very soon a flyer that's a part of the Weekend Digest. We'll also send it to the bishops and the presiding elders for them to distribute. But just go ahead and mark your calendars for, is it 8 p.m.?
Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. the first 4 Tuesdays in April 2025. Thank you again for your investment in your own well-being. We know that we cannot rely, as one of those slides says, we cannot rely on others for our safety and security. It's time for us to step up as a community and as a church and make sure that we equip ourselves to live the abundant life, not necessarily abundant in dollars, but at least abundant in security that Christ desires for us. Thank you.
Amen.
And thank you to Ms. Greenlee, who has served as our host each week, and you've done the background tech support as well, have you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, so thank you for doing both of those tasks each week. This is the week of Thanksgiving, and so I say to each one of you, let us look at the ways in which we are thankful for what we do have, and the way in which we are thankful for God choosing to use us in whatever way you are exercising your gifts for ministry.
All right.
Don't eat too much.
And Miss Susan Johnson posted, thank you and happy Thanksgiving. She sent a direct message, but it was for all. All right. If there's nothing else, again, Mr. Lee, thank you. You all know where we are. Please send an email, and then we'll look forward to seeing you next year on another Bold Money Matters initiative. Good night.
Could we all unmute and give Mr. Lee a round of applause?
Oh, yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
Enjoy.
thank you. Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving and good
Happy
night.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Awesome.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.